Hello everyone, and welcome to a new episode of LostinTranslationmon. This time we'll be covering Digimon Ghost Game episode 54, Second Sight. I'm May, and I'm joined by the drop-dead I can't even speak. It's really warm. I'm joined by the drop-dead gorgeous Quinn.
Hi.
And of course the equally drop-dead gorgeous Chloe.
Hello.
I need to have a word with my mouth about why twice, I had to struggle to not say Georges.
How dare you accuse me of being Georgian? Georgia is a terrible state. Not the country.
Isn't there also a country?
Fine.
Yeah,
the country I don't know
I
much
know
about.
very
I assume
little
they're
about
fine.
them, so I don't want to cast aspersions. But Georgia, the U.S. state, terrible.
Bad.
I just don't know why I went to say George. Anyway, so this is going to be a good one because I can't even apparently say G words. So
For what it's worth, it should be spelled better.
That's true. That is true.
English really needs to work on being able to spell things unambiguously. Yeah. So that it's just pronounced the way it's spelled.
Like read. The word read. Yep. The word wind is wind. Anyway, so it's really warm in here, and I said I'd
interesting episode tonight.
Yeah, so I can't do many brain thoughts because it's the fourth day of summer. It's going to be cold all week, but it's like 33 today, which isn't the hottest temperature, but when it's been a fairly cold spring, it is. So let's do the thing.
Yeah.
So a quick synopsis before we dive into our discussion. So this week we have Hiro and a bunch of other humans starting to predict bad things that are about to happen to people. For example, Truck-kun tries to Isekai Gammamon into the Frontier universe, and Hiro is able to save him. Well, I mean, it just reminded me of
It
the
sure
start of
did.
Frontier.
I didn't realize it until you said, but
that was
it's
really
pretty
good.
much exactly the same. But anyway, so he doesn't get taken to the Frontier universe, so that's a huge relief. Fate worse than death, being taken to the Frontier universe.
I'm sorry, but Hiro needed to not intervene. Fate was just doing what it needed to do there.
What, to go to Frontier?
Yeah, terrible what's-his-face friend should get frontiered, yes.
Well, terrible. What's his
I
face
guess
friend
our
who
new
sprained his
euphemism.
ankle.
Oh yeah, the stairs also take you to the Frontier universe. I was talking about how
What were you
the
talking
start
about?
of
How
Frontier
Gammamon
has
got
to...
iced by a truck.
Oh, yeah, that is also true, but the stairs was the thing I was thinking of.
Yeah, because, Takuya gets, almost isekai'd by a truck.
He does,
and then ends up taking
I
a train to
forgot
the
about
Frontier universe. But the stairs is also a valid way to get to the Frontier universe. So Stair-kun and Truck-kun handshake meme taking people to the Frontier universe. But apparently not today, because Hiro has magic powers. But in any case, we learn that this is because he has a Fujitsumon in his head. Now, I'm fairly certain this is Octomon's an old Digimon, but I'm fairly certain this is the first time I've given... Yeah, this is the first time I've given sentience to the thing living on his face. I don't recall it ever having a name before. So, I mean, I could be wrong there, but I'm fairly certain this is a new Digimon, sort of.
Yeah.
Because, we've
definitely seen them on there before, but to the best of my knowledge, it's never been explicitly talked about, and, why would it have been? It was obviously just, a pit on the skull thingy.
It was definitely also more prominent in this episode as well than it has been in 02, for example. So we get a bunch of Hiro being able to predict people who are about to get hurt, and Jellymon, being Jellymon, decides to monetize this, which I kind of like how she's always just, existing, separate from Kiyoshiro, trying to, scam people out of their money.
So was she? I legitimately couldn't tell if she was trying to just make money or if she was trying to do,
She definitely didn't explicitly ask for money. I think she was just, I don't know, going for YouTube fame.
Trying to figure out if it's true future sight or just...
They definitely seemed like at first they were like, oh yeah, you interviewed with 22 people, 2 people didn't take the warning and they both had an accident. At first it was just find out what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at the start she was helpful at least. She was trying to see what was happening, if it was real. Which is also good for the viewer. They're confirming that, yes, they are... They're not just, pretend visions. They're not,
they're not false alarms.
Just seeing what could happen. Yeah, they're not false alarms. They're actually things that
I have a note about
happen.
that later, but we'll get there.
Yep.
Yeah, so for the rest of the synopsis, we find out that the reason that the Fujitsumon have separated from the Octomon is because they had an argument, because Octomon's addicted to this, like, mobile game, and because of course they are, and I feel like we've had that as in Ghost Game before.
More than once.
But, yeah. So, Octomon got mad because it wanted Fujitsumon to predict things in the game, but it just senses danger. So the Fujitsumon left and started, like, hanging out in this very Neon Genesis Evangelion pool. I don't know why it made me think of Neon Genesis Evangelion in the first shot, but it did, and I don't really know
Dutch
why.
angles.
I'm not sure if it's the heat getting to me. Yeah.
There's something there.
Yeah, I just immediately thought of, like, all the swimming pool shots that we got in Evangelion, and I don't know why, but it might be just the heat. It could be because Evangelion is always prominent on this podcast, but in any case, we then find that we need to find the leader, who Hiro is able to track down using the powers, but every time he uses the powers, he starts to turn into an Octomon. Then we also have the realization that apparently his head will explode because it can't contain the power of the Fujitsumon, so there's two bad things that could happen.
They couldn't really decide what they were doing there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was like, first he's like, okay, your head will explode. I'm like, okay, cool, that's a threat. And then, like, the next scene, he has his arm turn into a tentacle. So...
Yeah, is he gonna go into an Octomon and then explode? That seems...
I'm assuming both. I'm assuming, like, he will become an Octomon, but his head can't take it and he will explode. I just assumed that it was both, because they gave both the bits of information.
Can become Digimon? Or is Hiro a Digimon?
Ah. Well, we got shots of the other people.
That could explain why he's not the real hero.
Nah, the other people got horns too, so I feel like
That's true, yeah.
Yeah.
Anywho.
So we end up finding out that Espimon is actually the big bad. He has the leader inside him, which means he actually mattered for this episode, kind of. Then we have to have Gammamon defeat him with the power of friendship, and it looks like it's not going to work, but then he just does it harder, and it does work.
Yeah.
Yep.
Why couldn't he have beaten him with the power of punching him in the face a lot?
Yeah.
That's what I thought they were going to do, and I was just a little bit disappointed that they
I'm
didn't.
very disappointed that they didn't. I wanted to see Espimon get punched a lot.
I wanted to see Gulus Gammamon kill Espimon, and then Gammamon would have to wrestle with the fact that he killed one of his friends.
That's 100% what I thought would happen, and that's one of my lowlights. Just a spoiler for the discussion part.
Plus, we could have had Piximon see it happen. And done some plot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought Piximon was going to be in this episode, but and then that's it for the synopsis. Discussion time. What were our highlights this week?
The future sight sequences were spooky. They did a good job of making that, like, unsettling and scary. I thought it was good.
Yeah, the animation in general was just pretty solid this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, and especially I enjoyed the first chunk of the episode was really...
I loved the body horror
fun.
aspects. I know I say that every time there's body horror, but, you know, they do it pretty well.
Oh yeah, they do it very well in Ghost Game.
Yeah, I like that this episode...
I'm a big fan of that.
I like that this episode confirmed that there exists a future in which Hiro's ghost friend, like, broke his leg or something.
Yep.
It's a shame we didn't get to see that universe, but... Oh well. And also just,
it's
like...
kind of...
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, it's kind of, like, funny/sad that it's always Hiro's friend who has the bad time, even though it wasn't, like, it didn't actually happen this week. It almost happened. Like, he just kind of exists to be hurt, but... It's when he's in the process of being kind of a little bit
he's
off
just
color,
the
like
worst
he'll say something
constantly,
like,
and then bad things happen to him,
if
and you don't feel bad.
If you get this fish, you can show it to impress girls, something that Gammamon clearly cares about.
Yeah,
and then he almost dies from it. So at least like he's gonna die doing what he loves, I guess.
A bunch of whippets.
I also thought that, like, especially with Hiro looking, like, more and more gaunt as the episode went on, I was like, wow, yeah, this episode's, like, actually pretty messed up. I appreciated that aspect.
Yeah, I was hoping it was going to, like, age him every time he used it or something.
Yeah.
That would have been neat.
I liked how haggard
No, it just makes him look.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he looked, like, great, and I was really sympathetic for it when he's, like, saying, oh, it feels like my head's splitting open, because it does, like, this is what having migraines feels like.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just, I was sympathizing with him, because, like, I was like, oh, could almost like, oh, like he's just having a bad migraine. That's the pain he's having. And it was just animated and acted really well. And it was believable, it did. I mean, it wasn't... Okay, when I say believable, I mean the pain.
Yeah, the
like,
acting
the way he was
of a
reacting
person
to it.
in pain was... Yeah.
Yeah, not the fact that he's becoming an Octomon, that's
That was a
probably not
little
happening
less
in real life.
identifiable.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the pain, it was really well animated and really well voice acted, and it just seemed like it just looked great. Like, the animators continuously do a good job in every episode, even the episodes that I don't particularly like. I have no notes on the animation is just stellar. I don't have any like negative things to say about the animation.
Yeah, they
or the
did
art
learn
style or
that
anything.
after Adventure Colon. Like, it's a
So
solid animation team.
Yeah, Colin did have a few episodes that were really well animated, but a few.
Yeah.
Like, not a bunch of them, and some of the episodes that I didn't really like, I could still say, well, at least it was well animated, but it wasn't that many of them that were well animated.
Yeah.
In Ghost Game, it's just like, I don't feel like we've had any episodes that
We've had a few where we
said
commented
it looked
on
bad.
some things, but on average, yeah, way less.
Yeah, but I feel like when we comment on it, it's just like, it just looked fine, or it didn't look as amazing as it usually does.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, big fan of the animation in this episode. Yeah, again, like when he's having the little visions, they look good.
I
and
really
his suffering
enjoyed the
looks
first
good.
10 minutes of this episode. Like,
Yeah.
it was
I feel like-
kind of disturbing.
Yeah,
it was
but-
a little it was super spooky, actually.
Yeah, but honestly, could we not say that about most episodes of Ghost Game? Like, the first 10 minutes were really good.
Yeah, but this one in
This
particular.
more than most, though. Yeah, like, really, right up until it took them until 14 minutes in to finish setting up what the problem was, and then took a couple of minutes to actually tell us that, no, it's a different problem from having the thing on
Yeah.
your head. Yeah, like,
Which is the Ghost Game problem.
it really
It's just like,
is.
oh, we put a lot of time into our beginning. We set a really good scene.
But we're still in
made
highlights,
it really creepy.
so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
That being said, I don't think we have any more highlights.
Yeah.
I'm just like, it just looked good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
And also, it's nice to see Octomon. I like when we see older Digimon as well as newer Digimon,
That's
especially because as far as I'm aware, we have a new Digimon that exists with an old Digimon.
Yeah.
Like symbiotes, that's kind of cool.
I want to clarify that I'm going to complain quite a bit about some of the writing here, but this was still well acted and, animated. It just needed better writing.
Yeah. So, low light time?
Yeah.
I'll go first with mine, because I think that y'all probably have more lowlights than me, or it sounds like you do. My main lowlight is, I guess, me. I'm the problem. It's me. It's the fact that when we had Espimon is the bad character. I thought that he was actually
That something would
Fujitsumon
come
wasn't
of
actually
that?
the problem. Yeah, I thought that maybe it was he doesn't want to give up the Fujitsumon. He isn't controlled by it, which is what ended up happening. He was being controlled by it. I thought that Espimon just wanted the power. He loved having this power, and he'd kind of gone power mad.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to get him evolve into his adult form, and then Gammamon ends up
And
losing
you
it
very reasonably
because
could have gone, oh yeah, it's real bad for the humans, because, humans getting psychic brain drained or whatever, but Espimon's cool. He got that
yeah.
being a fleshlight thing
and that's
going
what-
on.
And, I mean, we had Octomon even say that humans can't contain this power and their heads will explode. So I thought that was leaning into Espimon's going to be able to harness this power, and his head's not going to have to explode. He's not going to turn into an Octomon. He's just going to have this power of detecting danger. And I thought that he was going to evolve, and then I thought that Gammamon was going to lose it because Espimon doesn't care that Hero's in danger. Mm-hmm. And we even had the moment where Gammamon goes, Espimon, I'm your friend! And Espimon just goes, cool, and dunks him underwater. I thought that this was going to be Gammamon freaking out
Someone
and
storyboarded this show, or this episode is going that direction. You can kind of, tell that someone wanted to do that.
Yeah, it felt like they then looked at how many minutes they had left in the episode and like, oh no, we can't have Gammamon Dark evolve and then murder Espimon.
In much the same way that the one in Hero's forehead just kind of goes from being malicious and not caring that, Hero's slowly dying from whatever, to then just, oh, but you're hurting a bunch of people, please stop. Okay.
Yeah. It felt like a little bit rushed. It felt like they had such great setup and they could have gone somewhere, And I guess it was my own, like, expectations of, oh my gosh, we're going to do something, the power of friendship's not working. But no, in true Digimon fashion, they just had to power friendship harder, which is... It's done a lot in Digimon, and I wish that it wasn't always the answer. When we had Espimon try to, like, dunk him underwater, like, power friendship request denied, I thought that we were going to actually go somewhere, but we didn't, and that was kind of disappointing. But again, it was just because it felt like that was going to happen, and it's almost like I kind of played myself, and it disappointed myself because it didn't happen the way that I wanted it to.
So I guess our first one chronologically is, God, we're still doing the he's not the real hero thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting pretty tired of that one. Unless they actually choose to do something with it, which I kind of thought that this episode was going to do. I thought the whole, like, conceit was going to be, okay, you know, either Espimon has just, you know, been corrupted or has finally just, you know, gotten so frustrated at not being able to find Hero that he's like, okay, well, this one's the fake one, so I'm just going to kill him, and then the real hero will come out or something, you know?
Something. Literally something.
But no, we just keep on bringing it up and then do nothing with it. The next one, chronologically, is that, yes, Cosmic Warriors 2, the only gacha game.
Yeah. Also,
the only
we sure, for allegedly being like, mobile game addictions are bad, glorified the hell out of mobile game addictions. And how, you should play these games, and your friends will fight over how much how great your treasures are. And
get the Mega Super Ultra Rare, and you might actually literally save your friend's life in real life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a very, you can't make an anti-war film. Or like, how a bunch of people tried meth after watching Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Jeez. No, oh no, I didn't know that happened. That's not good.
Yep, blue meth became a fad in America because of course it did.
Yeah.
Oh dear me.
I'm not surprised. I haven't seen these statistics, but I'm not surprised if that is the case. The other thing, which I'll let you mention because you wrote it down, but it also occurred to me.
Yeah, so literally everybody Hero looked at was fated to have an accident that day. I like, definitely thought the twist was going to be that the evil villain thing was causing bad fates to happen if Hero didn't stop him, or something. But he didn't look at anybody who was just gonna be fine that day.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that, but you're right.
How?
Like how can that many bad things happen to people? Like, I get that you might fall over, but how many times do you fall over? Like,
don't take
how many
train
times do you
today, because you'll get crushed by
a falling girder or something.
By something, yeah. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Also, did someone else get crushed by a falling girder?
That's skateboard.
Possible. Yeah, we never came back to that.
Like, scary though. Also, I like how Ruli's friend is into skateboarding. As
that was cool.
Like, as painful as that whole scene looked.
Yeah.
Like,
God,
cool.
I winced so much at that scene.
I winced. Like, I mean, I stopped going to skate parks because I broke my collarbone. So every time I see a skate park, I'm just like, oh no.
Just in general, this episode was so contrived from beginning to end. They kept telling me new rules about what the situation was.
Yeah.
And
then there's the end.
Obviously, the ending was just it was a lot. I like the preview from last week made it look like it was going to be a plot heavy episode, and Espimon acting weird and stuff made us think, okay, maybe it's going to be a plot episode. And
literally just a dribble.
And
something.
The other, like, they usually have good animation on plot episodes.
It's also true.
And so I was like, this is going to be a plot episode, and then nothing happened. This episode could have just not existed, and nothing would have been different.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I feel like you can say that about a lot of Ghost games.
Yes!
Not that I
you can!
Not that I particularly care.
But most
I'm still
episodes of Ghost Game don't bait you into thinking it's plot like this.
Yeah. The preview from last time, and then also just the first few minutes of this one, really want you to think there's going to be plot happening, so you'll keep watching.
Yeah. Well, and also, okay, so if Hero and Espimon got infected at the fishing pond, why didn't Gammamon?
Yep.
The old dude fishing even got infected with it.
Just luck, I guess. Also, the script
because it was in the script.
It was said in the
because
script.
they only attack 75% of people that are there.
Yeah, it's just rough, and they had a lot of really good ideas that needed to be pared down, and then just generally better dialogue writing.
Yeah, this episode, and again, I really loved the first 10 minutes of this episode. This episode could have been really good, and it just kind of fell on its face at the end, and I'm mad about it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like that's actually one of Ghost Game's biggest problems, is because each individual who watches it might have but it could have been better, it could have been this.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, I don't feel like kids are really coming into things with expectations about plot or whatever. Like, imagine if this is your first series of Digimon. You don't really know about Digimon. This is just a TV show that's just on. You might have, like, toys from it because the television's telling you to buy the toys from this series.
Yeah.
But really, you don't really think of it as being
contemporary
anything else.
offerings like The Owl House.
Yeah.
Or
Which is
just-
also a show intended for children,
Yeah.
but
Like,
has definite plot effects happen from episode to episode
It
on
trusts
at least
the viewer
semi-regular
to
basis.
at least remember who the characters are and let them have a personality.
Yeah, but when I was a kid, I don't remember ever, like, having any expectation that there was going to be a plot or any development. Like, I didn't go
did.
into any episode.
That's why I stopped watching
maybe
Pokemon.
Maybe I was just a dumb kid. But to be fair, I think I stopped watching Pokemon because I was bored, because
Exactly.
a lot of it was very same. Pokemon, I mean, I always loved the
By
games
the time
as a
the
kid,
Orange
but-
Islands came around, it was clear that literally nothing was ever gonna happen.
Yeah, I feel like that's about when I stopped watching Pokemon too. It's just
They jumped the
it felt
Lapras.
too like I love the Sharpedo.
The Sharpedo Quinn. I guess you didn't play to Gen 3, though.
I did not know.
But the thing is, yeah, I loved Pokemon Johto Journeys. I don't think I ever actually watched as a kid, despite the fact that the Gen 2 games were the first ones I completed and probably were my favourite as a kid. But I couldn't watch it because, again, it was too similar. I feel like at least Ghost Game, each episode is more or
Yeah,
less
at least
different,
there's a
except for every so often we get
self-contained,
the arcs.
vaguely interesting thing going on, as opposed to just Ash meets someone, a thing happens, Team Rocket intervenes, oh no.
Though I have heard that the Pokemon anime got better around when they did the X and Y, like the Gen 6 games. Apparently they actually started to be less formulaic and less, like, samesies.
Yes, but...
so that's cool, but I don't
please,
have any drive to watch
please
it.
retire Ash and let literally anyone, but preferably a woman, take the spot.
Haven't they? I don't know anything about that,
Ash
but
is still around.
He
He
is?
has
Ash is
he has
still
a
around.
different
I could've
part of the
sworn-
harem hanging around, but
I thought, okay,
Yeah,
am
he
I
has a-
just
he's-
having
he's
a,
got
like, Mandela effect?
he's
From it?
got
I could have sworn I heard,
He's
like,
got a...
articles about how Ash is finally retiring.
no,
like,
there's been
last year or something.
speculation about how
There's speculation
maybe.
There's
But
every
no.
series has speculation, but his new like follow around crush is a boy called Go, and when it first came out, like, because Go was, like, somewhat feminine, people were like, are we getting our first genderqueer character? And, like, kind of like
That
wish
would've been
that they
interesting.
did. But honestly, like, Go is, yeah, very, like, he's got, like, a little, like, hairpin in, and he's kind of, like, got feminine features, so I can still
nice.
kind of see it, even though it's not canon. But a lot of people who watch it do call them boyfriends.
I mean, and I'm cool
But-
with that, but again, it's
Yeah.
Pokemon, so literally nothing will ever happen or advance with anything, and characters don't get to have personalities because anyone who watches needs to be able to come in at any given episode and completely understand what's going on.
Do you think Mr.
Yeah,
Mime's
which-
relationship with Ash's mom advances?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the thing that
that's-
advances in
yeah.
Pokemon. That's
Yep.
the one thing.
Yeah, which is definitely interesting. But yes, so
Dad-
at least
You should
Ghost-
have to call him Dad when he goes home.
Mr. Dad.
At this point, yeah. Oh no. Father Mime?
Side note,
Mime has been Derek.
Pokemon related, and then we'll go back to Ghost Game. But, like, Detective Pikachu is still probably the best video game movie. As much like
I was
Sonic
gonna say the
good
movie
too, but
was really
Detective
good. I
Pikachu
don't know
was-
anything about the game.
Oh, I haven't played the game. Apparently it's
Is
bad.
there-
It's got the same plot as the movie, but it's bad.
There's a
That's all I've
Detective
heard about
Pikachu
it. I haven't
game?
played it.
Yes, but it was Japan
Yeah,
only.
it started. It was originally a game. But the movie was really good, but also all the Pokemon in it were deeply horrifying in, like, the way that they should be.
Yes, no, I loved that about it.
Yeah, they didn't try to make all of the Pokemon cute.
Yeah, like, my partner does not like Pokemon, but he saw the movie with me because he's
Yeah.
just nice. And yeah, he liked the movie. He said it was, it was fine, and he doesn't have any connection to Pokemon.
It stood on its own as a movie without being a Pokemon fan, which I feel like should be kind of a minimum core competency of being a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it had references for people who were like
and that's fine,
nostalgic fans.
But to channel the spirit of Jay here, you should be able to watch a movie and not need to specifically be a fan of the series to enjoy it on at least some level.
Thanks, X Evolution. But back to Ghost Game. Do we have any other lowlights?
None specifically, just a vague "how dare they" about the ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, which again, that's
also,
very much just like
any
Ghost
of
Game.
the people who briefly had horns.
Yeah.
Did
anyone's head explode?
Did they become Optimon?
Did any of the people that we saw, literally die in visions? Did they get home safe?
Hero got turned partway into an Octomon. And
he
had to go
tentacle.
see the Mummymon.
The Mummymon.
Is anyone else running around with tentacles?
Yeah.
I want to see a very disturbing half Octomon, half person
I want this to be a
monstrosity.
2-part episode.
Yeah.
Because the second part of this episode would be fantastic.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If they actually just did not do Power of Friendship and it went down the way that I felt like it was going to go down, that would have been
just went down exactly like this, and then we had to deal with the consequences of our actions for once. It would have been amazing next week.
Yeah.
But I think that covers our lowlights.
Yep.
Yeah. So favorite character. Honestly, this was hard. I almost chose the Neon Genesis Evangelion swimming pool at the start, and then I was like, I like Octomon, but then I was like, but Octomon didn't really do much, so I think I might just say Jellymon. I just she felt helpful in this episode, I guess. Helpful question mark.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, she is always after her own personal gain, but I'm still appreciative that even when she's being just a terrible person, quote unquote person, because she's a Digimon, I still appreciate.
What the hell? I didn't realize you were so speciesist.
I'm Jellymonist. No, I feel like that even when she's being unlikable, it's on purpose. If she's not a good...
She's just being a gremlin because she's kind of a crappy
good
person.
Character.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, no, she's very interesting to watch.
Yeah, it makes her, feel real. And a lot of Digimon partners are just extensions of their human, but Jellymon just kind of goes off and does her own thing.
Yeah.
We don't really have that much in Digimon. We have it with, Renamon and Impmon in Tamers.
I'm sorry,
but other than that,
I have a last low light that I don't think I specifically mentioned, which is I respect Kiyashiro so much less for being a pay pig.
Yeah. But he would.
And it was kind of messed up that he was like, but I don't want to get rid of my ultra super special rare while Hero's over there literally on the ground clutching at his head.
That was so screwed up.
He came around pretty quickly, but he sure showed his true colors for a second there.
Honestly, that made me feel like he is kind of realistic.
I mean, maybe,
kind of
I'd reconsider my friendship with someone who did that.
Oh, absolutely. Again, with with Jellymon point, a bad person does not mean bad character necessarily.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not sure I'd be talking to either one of them at this point.
Yeah.
For different reasons.
It's something that I had to but back when I was super into wrestling, back when Jay and I used to watch wrestling together, there was always this moment of oh, I really hate this wrestler. And Jay'd point out no, you're meant to. This is what you're feeling is how you're meant to hate this wrestler. They are acting. And I was like, I know, but I hate them. That's the point.
You understand what kayfabe is. You just choose to buy into it.
Yeah, which is the best feeling when you're I hate this. You actually kind of start to love booing them. You enjoy, some of the wrestling characters are just so, evil. You are just excited when they come out just because you love booing them, but you actually love them, but you know that they're...
Anyway.
It's a weird thing. So it's the same with Jellymon. Anyway,
moving on to favorite characters, Chloe?
What was yours, Chloe?
So I was also having a tough time deciding, and I think I'm going to go with Fujitsumon because I wish that they chose to, like, choke Espimon. That would have been nice. It's a shame they didn't. But it was also cool that they made Hero grow horns. And if they are also a new Digimon, then that's also neat. Although I didn't know that when I picked them.
That is totally fair. And Quinn?
I had such a hard time choosing that I landed on the ineffable nature of the self.
Wow.
Yep, no, this episode
like
did not have any likable characters at all.
That's my girlfriend, y'all.
Honestly, totally agree. Like, that's why I almost went for the swimming pool. There wasn't a swimming pool. It was a fishing hole. But it just looked like a swimming pool.
Yep.
Like, in my brain, was
but
like, that's a swimming
fish
pool.
There, apparently.
Yeah, you know those swimming pools that have fish in them? Yeah, you know the ones. It just looked like a, just colour the water other than, like, swimming pool blue, please. I beg you.
Yeah.
Because it just is a swimming pool that has fish in it, and my brain still, like, swimming pool. It's not a swimming pool, but it is. So yeah, that was almost my character until I was like, nah, Jellymon pretty good. In terms of rating, I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5, just because it was just a fine, passable episode, but I do have some gripes, so it's just below a pass, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, it's not, like, terribly offensive, but it just could have been... It could have been a 5 if it did anything other than just, like, the power of friendship, which, again, it could have been
if
just a little bit longer
like,
in
4
terms
minutes of it, it really could have been one of the top 10 episodes.
Yeah, just make episodes of Ghost Game just a bit longer. Maybe some
Let
episodes
anything
could be...
matter.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, imagine if it was an hour show and sometimes you would have one episode being an hour length, and sometimes an episode would have 2 episodes in it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, Chloe, what are you giving it out of 5?
I am surprised to find that I'm actually probably going to be the one to give it the highest rating of 2.5 out of the 3 of us. I thought it was largely the same, where it was like, yeah, you know, this episode was fine overall. I really liked how it started, and I liked what it could have been, and I was pretty let down by what it ended up being, but I think it mostly canceled out to just fine. Unremarkable.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, I was a little torn. I ended up landing on a 2, specifically because of those awful mobile games that sure look super fun to play, don't they?
Yeah, they definitely feel
You
like
definitely
they do that
don't want to go to a casino, kids.
So, in terms of our overall ranking, that gives it a 6.5, which means it's in the same level as episode 49, which is the Crimson Harvest Festival. Now, I remember that was it was the Witchmon one. I was about to say that's a Halloween one, but I can't for the life of me remember, but it was just Witchmon. So, was this episode better or worse than the Crimson Harvest Festival? Apparently in my rating I've said better, I think.
I'm having a hard
in my
time
rating-
remembering that episode.
Yeah.
Can you jog my
was-
memory a bit?
There was Witchmon, and my complaint was the Witchmon were all females. There should have been like a boy Witchmon.
I agree.
It was Halloween. Pumpkinmon came back, but then Witchmon turned out to like just have the no magic powers after midnight.
Oh, yeah.
And we just could have waited.
I think I would put this below that one.
Okay, and Chloe, you're the tiebreaker.
Oh, wrong episode. Crimson Harvest Festival. Okay. I was looking at Crimson Banquet and was confused. I think it was better.
Better, so we're putting it above then.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for... See, that's why it's good that there's 3 of us, because there's a tiebreaker.
Yeah, definitely.
So now I've got to remember... Okay, so that means that it is in 49th place in our overall ranking. In terms of our individual ranking, I have it in 45th place, which means that it is between episode 44, Rust, and episode 53, King of Knowledge. So I liked last week's episode less than this one, at least. So, Chloe, where are we putting this week's episode?
I think I am going to put it in 46th place, right above the Crimson Banquet, because I just said that it was a little better than the Crimson Banquet. No, that was the Crimson Harvest Festival. Well, I'm gonna go with that anyway.
Okay, so that's
46th?
Or you mean
42nd? 42nd is above Crimson Harvest. 46th is above Crimson Banquet. Wait, no.
Yeah,
no,
I'm gonna
sorry,
go. I'm gonna go
43rd.
46th above Crimson Banquet.
Okie dokie. I'll lock it in 46th. And Quinn?
I am going with, just had it, and then, Chloe said the word Crimson Banquet a bunch of times.
Sorry.
It's fine.
It just be like that.
I think mine is also above my own Crimson Banquet at, 46th, below Maneater's Forest.
45th.
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 Yeah, so
okay.
45th. So that's 45th for Quinn, 46th for Chloe, and 45th for me. So we've kind of just all put it in like the same place. So that's it's nice when we feel like there's some agreement. It's nice when we differ, but it's also nice when we agree.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So do we have any miscellaneous thoughts for this week's episode?
We have none written down.
How dare they betray us?
Yeah, it could have been better.
You were supposed to be the chosen one.
Now that we're done discussing, let's move on to pondering predictions and Postmon Pat. First up, we have Allison, who is saying about how Jellymon wasn't able to ask any questions that the Mon of the Week didn't have. Balmon, I forgot Balmon's name for a second there. See, brain is melting out of me because it's really hot. My apologies, but I'm doing my best. And so they said that it makes sense because when Jellymon evolved to Thetismon, it gained maturity and intelligence, so it's able to ask a question to Balmon that he might not know, but before Jellymon couldn't because Jellymon was a child. And yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know if I buy into they're less mature younger forms.
With
Yeah.
Gammamon, definitely.
If nothing else, I'm gonna point at Bunnymon, whose name I can't think of for the moment.
Angoramon.
Angoramon, who is noticeably not childish as a child form.
Yeah, seems to be
And then
roughly
becomes
it actually becomes less intelligent as
As he
when
scales
he gets
up.
As
the
Lamontmon.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Lamontmon doesn't have control over itself, basically, and needs really to
Depending
stop
on the
him.
episode, it appears.
Yeah.
I feel like every time we've had Lamontmon, it's been... Like, we haven't had Lamontmon that often, really.
Yeah. There's always varying degrees of frenzied, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Anywhom.
Next, we have Duxio, who was surprised that Gammon's knowledge sphere was as large as it was. And yeah, that's a good point. All the knowledge spheres were the same size and didn't seem to be dependent on actual knowledge. I
Yeah,
didn't
that's a
notice
fair
that.
point.
But yeah.
I didn't even think of that.
But, not all knowledge is true. Just ask any of the chatbots.
That is actually really reasonable. Like, what is a concept of knowledge? It's like you know something, but it could be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I grew up thinking that milkshakes were just milk that you shook.
And
Like-
that they'd bring boys to the yard.
Well, yeah, definitely not the milkshakes that are just milk.
That's fair,
My
probably not.
slightly shooken up milk does not bring any boys to the yard at all. It brings no one to the yard. Who wants slightly shooken up milk? No,
Well,
I
you
didn't
don't.
find
It's
out.
gotta be someone's fetish.
Oh.
Yeah, but I didn't find out that milkshake what it actually was until I was embarrassing them. I'm like, hey, why do mine not taste like the ones in the store? Because they're not just shooken up milk. You silly. So
That's really good.
Oh my god,
So-
how do you get through life as an adult?
I don't know. I feel like consistently, I just have all these stories of just things that I thought were things as a kid, but as an adult, I'm just like, how am I? I've come pretty far. Like I'm doing pretty well.
I think I was
all
8 when
things
I asked
considered.
my mom that.
Yeah.
What's a milkshake?
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if that's a question I ever specifically asked.
I definitely
but,
remember asking.
Okay.
Anyway,
See, I asked and I just got it's shooken up milk, which I was like, well, I guess parents would never be wrong.
that's one you have to get over pretty quick.
Uh-huh.
That is like the hardest thing about being an adult is learning that your parents were just people.
Oh
And
no,
that
I
your
watched my
teachers
parents
were-
try to use a computer UI. Broke me that very quickly.
That is fair. Anyway, so next we have Zintheon, who says that something they like about episode 53 was the episode versing Balmon, is where he realized information can change as well as knowledge is diverse. And yeah, that's a good point. Like, I would ask Belmont, what is a milkshake? And according to my knowledge, it would be slightly shooken up milk. In the same vein, that 12-year-old me would ask Belmont, hey Belmont, and this is what 12-year-old me would ask, what is Japanese for emperor?
Uh-huh.
And Belmont would not say Kaiser, so 12-year-old me would have that one, because knowledge is diverse. Which is, just a very, very, very good point. So knowledge can be anything. They go on to say, you can look at Digimon or Pokemon and think that it's just a kid's cartoon character, but then research it and find out a bunch of historical references and nods were put into their design and lore. And yeah, that too, except for one of the most recent Pokemon, which is called Flamingo. It is a pink flamingo. That's it. It's just like, it doesn't evolve into like,
it's just a flamingo.
It's just a pink flamingo. It's just the only step is flamingo.
I really think they should stop making new Pokemon if they don't have good ideas. But
yeah, I mean, to be fair, Gen 1 had
a Pokemon game in like 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing as how Gen 1 had Krabby the Crab and Seal.
It did.
Spelled slightly different, the Seal. So that's the...
Those both evolved, though.
Yeah, those both are more than just that thing what they are. But
yeah, and then they evolved to slightly bigger crab.
They were pretty lazy then, too.
They do also 100%, have Taurus, which is just the bull.
They do have the bull that has 3 tails and doesn't evolve. That was super lazy, yes.
And Miltank, who definitely awoken something in somebody.
So many people.
So many people. So next we have Gio Zaga, who says they really liked episode 53. They gave it a 4 out of 5. It's a refresher after the disappointing episode last week. Jellymon was the MVP this episode, not just with her delivering the finisher quiz, but attacking the book while she was in her floating form. And yes, something I love about Jellymon is just that floating form is just... I love it so much. It's so cute. I love Jellymon, but also I hate Jellymon. I'm submitting to kayfabe.
Terrible, terrible person, but a pretty entertaining character to watch most of the time. Mm-hmm. And
absolutely.
The little form is adorable.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, they continue to say they like the use of defeating the opponent. They played by their rules and did the clever ways by using tricky questions that's not related to most science, history, or nature-based quizzes. These questions were still useful and reasonable for quiz questions, with Gammon's question being an exception since the answer is too personal and not fair, like the slightly shooken up milk. It's surprising his fear wasn't the size of an apple when compared to the others, and I guess it's the concept of what is knowledge. It could be just wrong knowledge, and all of his knowledge could be just hero-related.
The animators were a little lazy.
Yeah, I'm going with that one.
Oh, that too. Next we have user XK, who says they said that that there were a ghost revealed to exist already with the Talmon Hero episode. I completely forgot about that. And that plus the ambiguous ending with Werewolf seems heavily implied the supernatural is very real, despite hologram, ghosts, and rampant Digimon. Whether or not it ends up being a bigger plot point remains to be seen. I don't think it will be. I feel like it's just Pokemon. Sorry, I've been playing a lot of the new Pokemon game. I feel like it's just Digimon sometimes are also ghosts. I don't feel like they're going to go much more into it than they already have, but it'd be cool if they did.
Yeah, it would be neat if they cared about their own cosmology, but, they don't, and I guess that's fine.
Mm.
Or at least not that corner of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Next we have Lazy Croconaw, who is a Pokemon, says that this episode was good, they enjoyed it. They wish we got to see other things that Kyoshiro forgot, but still fun stuff and the animation was great. And then Lazy Croconaw says that I made a sandwich analogy when talking about my feelings about the episode, how it just felt like a bland sandwich, and they said that it reminded them of Pokemon because you make sandwiches in the new Pokemon game. It's kind of cool. It's kind of like Cooking Mama. You can make like a horrific sandwich that looks completely stupid, and like I showed it to Brady and I was like, look, I can cook in this game, and he's like, well, it's still better than you cooking in real life. I didn't improve from the slightly shooken up milk.
Brady is savage.
Oh, he is.
Absolutely, I
love him so
annihilated.
much.
Can you please get him on some episode? That would be amazing.
I will tell him that. Then he'll be like, but then I have to watch Digimon.
Yeah,
that's
but
valid.
anyway,
I get that.
Like, I'll cook myself something, and he'll take a photo of it, and it's not because he's proud of me.
Oh.
It's because it looks like a monstrosity.
You might need to start posting some of these.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll post them in the Discord because I made like I buy like low carb pizza bases that are like high protein, low carb ones.
Gotcha,
So I kind of make my own pizza,
Yeah.
and they all look completely disgusting.
I bet. Yeah.
I made like a mince meat and cheese one. But it tasted really good, but it looked really gross, and he took a photo of it. I'll post them. They don't look edible, but I assure you that they are ish, at least for me. Slightly sugar nut milk. So yeah, that's absolutely why I was thinking about sandwiches, and probably why I made the sandwich analogy, was because I was playing a lot of Pokemon. And I feel like a lot of Ghost Game episodes do just feel like they're just like a bland sandwich, like butter and ham, rather than just like seeded mustard and ham or something, for example.
Do people actually put butter on their sandwiches?
I've seen it.
Yes.
Really? What?
What? Do people not
wrong.
put butter on sandwiches?
I don't,
What?
at least.
It's dry otherwise.
No, you put other
Sorry,
condiments on.
Yeah, mustard.
Yeah, but if you don't...
If you're not a
Okay, but
savage...
Oh yeah, but if you don't have any condiments, you have to put butter at least. You have to put something
Okay.
on it, so it's not just like dry
Yeah, if
bread.
there's literally nothing else in the refrigerator.
Get some lettuce.
Anywho.
Then it's all soggy. Lettuce makes bread soggy. Then it's too wet.
Well, okay, so
We're
are we
now a
talking about
sandwich
a
discussion
sandwich
podcast.
that is spending the day in a lunchbox, or like a sandwich that you are preparing and then eating?
Oh, that's true. What
Because I'm thinking of the latter.
Yeah, you're right. I'm thinking of like you put it in your bag and then you eat it like 5 hours later. Yeah, what we need a percentage of how much are we talking about food in this episode. It's very warm in here.
Are you
next
hungry
we have
right now? Is that what I'm getting?
No, I'm full. No, I had a disgusting looking like self-made disgusting poop pizza.
And the slightly shooken milk.
And the slightly shooken milk. I can't cook. I've never pretended to cook.
Shake it,
I want to make.
stir.
Do you stir milk? Isn't stirred milk just butter?
No!
You can stir
I mean-
some chocolate into your milk.
I guess you can, but you can shake chocolate into your milk too.
Let's keep going.
Let's move on, please.
I'm just thinking about
The
the
love of
trifle I
all
want to
that
make
is
for
good.
Christmas. I'm making a trifle for Christmas. I'll take photos of it, and we'll see how much of a monstrosity that looks like, which is probably looks more like a monstrosity than normal trifles. So next we have Grey Fullbuster, who points out that Higachi has actually died twice in the show, turned to a ghost too. And yeah, I forgot. Poor Kiyoshiro has had a really bad time in the show.
Mm-hmm.
Love him though. Next we have Angel Squeaks, who says that they wonder if part of the reason Ghost Game keeps doing 3 episodes like this is because they know it can get away with it because there's only 3 characters. If they had the cast size of Adventure, maybe it would have felt too long, so they would have tried to do something else. I mean, Adventure Colon constantly had the blocks
The
of
permanent
characters just
split
doing
up.
the same thing. And yeah, they kept on splitting them up to do things, and to have the arc where we just got silhouettes before the evolution, and then we had the arc of them getting the evolutions of the silhouettes that we saw. It's just, I feel like, yeah, it's better with 3 characters. They also say that they liked the episode, but there was so much that needed elaborating on, and yeah, that's a lot of Ghost Game episodes.
Yep.
Just are missing a lot of, elaborating. Next we have Narumi, who says they hope the warp evolution thing is foreshadowing for their mega evolution when it eventually happens, because it's a waste of time having 3 warp evolution episodes in a row. The quiz part of the episode was the best part, and it is cool, even though it is a Kyoshiro episode, the other characters also had a moment. And yeah, that's something I also like about Ghost Game, even when it is a character's episode, the other characters also get to shine. Then we have user IU, who says that episode 54, so this week's episode, has a 50-50 chance of being important or just another okay-ish ep. Maybe we'll see Hero from the future. No, we did not. Jellymon really is a master. She can leave whatever and is convenient for the plot to happen. She just kind of goes in and out, and yeah, she does do that.
She sure does.
Then we have user ZP, who says they weren't feeling episode 53, but they do love the podcast, and they do with a heart emoji. So, well, it's actually less than 3, but it's an old school heart emoji.
Well,
so
I appreciate
thank you.
that more,
I appreciate
actually.
that.
Yeah.
And then lastly we have Basile, who says that I think they're saying that our main criticism was on each character individually having warp evolution for the first time, and I'm not sure what they mean by that, but yeah.
Yeah.
I still don't know why it had to be.
That's the thing I disliked about
individually.
those few episodes, yeah.
Yep.
yeah, I'm glad that it's like that sort of thing is over, that we're back to like maybe something could happen, even though nothing happened. I'm glad that we're not just doing
we're not
a formula.
teasing the nothing that does happen.
Yeah. That's it for Postmon. Pat, do we have any thoughts about the series so far, or any predictions or for how the series could go from here? Because I'm just like...
It's sure losing me.
It's not losing me, but I still do wish that this episode had something more.
I'm a patient gal. It hasn't lost me yet, but I do wish it would go somewhere.
Yeah.
We're still
game?
hoping that they'll do anything with stuff that was in the first, 10 episodes. And they'll
still
even
think
repeatedly tease the same thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I still think this series could be my favourite series of Digimon. I'm still really enjoying it. Because even the episodes that are 2 out of 5, I'm still liking.
This could be the best series of Digimon drinking game one of these days. And it's gonna give
no.
people alcohol poisoning.
Look, to be fair, at least I'm saying at episode 54, like, in Adventure Colon, I said it in the first episode, and that probably aged worse than everything else I've ever seen.
That aged like milk, yeah.
Aged like slightly shooken off milk.
I think it's called homeopathic milk.
Oh.
Ugh, gross. Anyway, next week's episode is called Bakeneko, and it looks to be just that episode called Bird, but with cats. Did anyone else get that vibe, that it just felt like, what if your pet cat isn't happy being your pet cat?
Yeah. What if pets ran a cabal, a cat ball, if you will?
The
cat
whole
ball.
kitten cabal, whether you will or not, to be honest.
We prepared that
I'm
line.
dead.
How
a good
dare
one.
you admit that?
Because it makes it so much better.
At least you prepared something. I just I copy and paste my template and I put in things, and then I'm like, I'm ready to go. That's my preparation. Copying and pasting and then changing some
I
things.
think it helps
Sometimes
that we
don't
watch the
change
thing
things.
together and we'll just crack jokes and write down some of the good ones.
And
That
some of the
is
really
good.
bad
And some of the
ones.
terrible ones that I can inflict upon others. It's great. It's perfectly great for me.
That is good. But do we have any predictions for next week's episode? Because I'm kind of worried. It just looks like it's just going to be the Bird episode, and
I
it might
predict
not.
it will not move the plot along, but someone will mention a clue that we've brought up before.
But then again, I feel like we've had episodes that the preview doesn't look like it's going to be a plot episode, and then it is, and then we've had ones like this week's episode where the preview looks like it could be a plot episode, and then
think
isn't.
That it's one of those things where the person making the preview just doesn't know anything about what the plot is of the series.
They're just given
Quite
screenshots.
possible,
Yeah, Anyway.
I'm hoping that if it is just like the birds again, that it was just a misunderstanding resolution, and the cats just walk off into the sunset, ready to strike again in the future.
Yeah,
I want the evil cats. I just want
there should be a union.
hey, who said pss, 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 pss?
The cats and the birds can unite.
Yeah. Isn't there, what is that, Cat Island in Japan or something?
Isn't it? I know there's Bunny Island.
Is that what I'm thinking of? That might be what I'm thinking of. I might be, thinking of the wrong thing.
Bunnies and cats are different.
They are. They don't actually get along that well. Ooh, the crows and the cats could unite against Gammamon.
Huh.
I don't think that's how the
is sure a
episode will
bunny.
go, though.
Yeah. And then
There
the
is a Cat
matter.
Island
Oh,
in Japan.
Is
I was
there?
correct.
Cool.
how nice.
Ao Island.
Cool. Yes.
Aoshima. Also known as Cat Island.
Anyway, this
Is
is
a
Chloe
thing.
reads Wikipedia on air.
Yep.
Yeah,
At
this is the
air.
Wikipedia podcast. At air, not on air.
That is.
I was too slow to make the joke, but I'm glad someone else
Someone
did.
had to.
Oh yeah, every time.
Alright everyone, so thanks for listening to this week's episode, as we also learned what I thought milkshake was. So join in next time for what else did I think that things were, but weren't. That was a sentence. Let's pretend that it made sense.
Even more fun.
So,
what do you still think things are?
I don't know. I should start... I'm gonna have to ask Brady, because Brady's actually corrected me on a lot of things that, were just,
Oh, yes, please write these down.
Uh-huh.
Because, there's a lot of them where he just, looks at me just did you think that that's what that was? And it's just...
That's pretty great.
Like,
That's fantastic,
it's up
and
there.
the people need to hear it.
Uh-huh.
The people do need to hear. But yeah, I can't cook, but I will make a trifle for Christmas, and I'm sure it'll be horrific. But in any case, so the link dump's linked in the description, and you can contact us and stay updated. You can leave us a comment on this episode on YouTube to join in on the conversation, and for a full list of ways to find the podcast across the internet, head over to my link tree, which is linktr.ee/LostinTranslationmon. If you enjoy the podcast or videos or any of my posts online, you can show support by signing up on Patreon and get some cool rewards and help us hit milestones. And thank you to our current supporters on Patreon, Stephen Reeves, who is Wamsi support on Archive of Our Own, Kadawashi, Chisai, who can follow on Twitter at Chisai236, Neobu, who says you should follow Chisai on Twitter at Chisai236, Lizmet, who is Lekman on Tumblr, Nicholas Emery, I don't know why I said that with a G. I don't know where my G's are coming from this week, but they're definitely coming from somewhere. Emery's from Gone While Hunting, a Hunt Hunter Rewatch podcast. Magnus, Lucas, Jason105, Patrick, Jason, Shelby, Digital Hazard, who is on Twitch at The Digital Hazard, Alemas, Teropimon, and Vmon Tamer. You can also make a one-off donation on PayPal, which can be found linked in the description. It's paypal.me/airdramon. You can also donate to me on my Coffee account, ko-fi.com/airdra. And of course, thanks to the drop-dead gorgeous Quinn and Chloe. What are y'all doing? Anything fun? Anything you've been watching or reading or anything or playing?
It's final
Anything
project
fun?
week, so I'm just holed up in my house doing research. Also, my laptop fried this week, and I have to buy another one, so I had to restart some projects, and it's been a rough week, actually.
But so Quinn's laptop's out of commission. She's using mine, which means I've finally brought my desktop over here.
Yeah, Chloe almost officially lives here now, so huzzah for us.
Yay! Well, that's exciting, at least. Like, the laptop frying, that's never a good thing.
No.
But at least there's good things happening.
Yeah. Anyhow, night, y'all.
Yep. Bye.
Alright, well, thanks for listening, and see you on the next one. Bye!
Adios.